situation. We don't press how we want it, and we get in the first 45 minutes we get a great lesson for us. And sometimes it's good to get in the right moment. We have to accept this lesson, and then we have to make the things better. And also, how you said, we have to start from the beginning. And when you saw the players from Atletico, they have more will, they have more hunger to score goals like that. And this is what I want from the beginning, from the first minute. And in the first 45 minutes, we didn't show that. We start with yellow cards, okay? Normally, in the first action with a foul to Balde, it's a yellow card. Seguro, it's just a yellow card, and I you know, and then it's everything. It's maybe different, but he invited them to play like this, and the second yellow card was it could be. So it's totally different. But I want to, yeah, come on. It's for me. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess like that, and they.
Frustrated. He's frustrated. And he's not frustrated because of anything. He's only frustrated because these guys are not playing what he wants them to play. Look, it was always going to be a fight against Atletico. I don't know. It was always going to be a fight against Atletico. Like, this is since the days of Messi, Busquets. Like, Atletico has never, ever been an easy game. You fight, you hold the ball, they get yellow cards in the first half. We try to go 1-0 up in that first half. If not, fine. Second half, they won't be able to press the way they press in the first half because they will burn out. 1, 2, they can't keep fouling that way. They are ready. They are, like, this is Atletico 101. So it's either these boys don't know or they don't watch film. Now, the refs were bad. The refs were horrible, yes. But is this guy just making excuses?
They have to wait, I don't know, how many minutes? 7 minutes? Was 7 minutes? Oh, come on. What, come on. They find something in these 7 minutes, okay. For me, when I see this situation, was clear no offside. Was clear no offside. But at the end, maybe they could see something different. But tell us. And there's no communication. And this is so bad here.
Guys, welcome back to Ball Knowledge Live. I'm zozomilli. You guys know what it is. We are breaking down 1 or 2 teams tonight. We're looking through how on earth did Barcelona lose this game. And we're also looking at Chelsea winning today versus Hull City and other, host of other things, including any Yola Aluko versus Simon Jordan, which must be interesting. Now, let's see what the ESPN FC guys have to say about his comments.
What do you want to pick up from that, Craig?
Well, he's absolutely correct about the VAR. That was ridiculous. Stevie would just say, I still can't get my head around that, but that's been and gone. In one sense, he's praising Atletico Madrid for their fair start, their aggression, their intensity, the desire to go and win the game and press, and in another breath, he wants them yellow carded for challenges. I don't think it's a time, if I'm being honest. And he said a lot of things.
Craig, let's not act like you can't do both. You can do both. You can praise Atletico for the intent they showed, but you can also lambast them when they foul your players, and that's exactly what they did. They were rough. They were fouling the guys. Yes, the intent and the way they set up to play was extraordinary. Don't get me wrong. The way they look, there were tiny passes in midfield and pressing in midfield like I've never ever seen before. So they had a lot going for them, but you won't come and tell me, not for 1 second, you won't tell me that he can't see that. Of course he can see that. These guys were not doing what they were supposed to do. The refs were atrocious in this game, if we want to just call it speed a speed. The refs were ridiculous. Like, they were on their side. That's another thing, guys. Like, refs, just come out and just see whose side you're on. So going into the game, we'll know what it is. We'll know what it is. We won't waste our time. We won't be wasting our time thinking that there's fairness in a game when there is no fairness. Come on, man. Let's see what Craig is saying.
Badly as they have, and particularly in the first 45, and your team were an absolute shambles. Probably we've laughed at some of these games in La Liga, the way they've defended, right, Stevie and I? Yeah. Watching games on a Sunday before we're going on air.
This stats are fool's gold, first of all. These stats are fool's gold. Let me take myself away. These stats are fool's gold. Look, in the first half alone, it was 7 shots. It was, I think, 6 shots to 7, right? Out of those 7, they scored all their goals. They scored all their goals between the 6th and the 45th. They had all their shots at goal and scored all their goals. And then, second half, they couldn't play. Now, obviously, if we go at them 90 minutes the way we went at them that second half, this is a win. But the point is, this is not what we do. That's not what we do. We like to do nonsense and play with our food before we eat it.
Participating in this crazy defending, but getting away with it. What we saw in this first half was worse than anything we have seen in Hansi Flick's tenure.
I agree.
And from
this is the worst first half under Hansi Flick ever. Ever. They were shocked. It's like, like when you see a boxer that gets punched in the mouth, he's supposed to be the favorite. Now the underdog punches you in the mouth, and the punch is so crazy that, like, for the rest of the fight, you're rattled. That's basically what happened. We got punched in the first hour, in the first round, and for the rest of the night, we were rattled.
From a defensive aspect, because I make no bones about it, and Stevie picked up on one where they're playing offside in the halfway line. It easily could have been 6-0 at half-time.
1,000%.
For Hansi Flick to be talking about debatable yellow cards for early challenges, then I'm sorry, but he's just barking completely up the wrong tree, because the problem was not the officiating per se, apart from the VAR shambles. The problem wasn't the officiating, the problem was Barcelona were a complete and utter shambles. Not just defence, but he's right about the spaces and everything, but when you have those spaces and you're not pressing the ball as well, your defenders cannot step as high as they are. The two things don't go hand in hand.
Now, you have to put into context the fact that the number one reason we are where we are is because Rafinha is hurt. Now, is that an excuse? No. Rafinha being hurt should not be the end all and be all of our season. But unfortunately, that's how bad we are right now, because he starts that press from the top and we become unbeatable, because once you are pressing that high, the high line works. But when you play guys that don't even bruh. My God, man.
So you have to recognise that. So, he has to take this one in the chin. They were absolutely awful. Yeah. But as I said, after this live game, strangely enough, I don't think they're out of it. Because they can, we've seen Atleti. Mm-hmm. They are Jekyll and Hyde. And we've seen Barcelona at home. They can score 4 or 5 against anybody. So it's theoretically not over. But the direction he went down, I think was a bit disappointing for me, actually.
Let's talk about the Atleti direction that they took from very early on, what you were discussing, and just showing the tone that they were setting and how much they were going out for this aggressively, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, at home, such a big game, crowd behind you. If Barcelona didn't expect this sort of start, with Atleti getting in their face, then the Hansi Flick and his players are in dreamland. But then after that, when things are not going your way, regardless of how good you are going forward, you have to have some sort of other plan when things are not going your way. You can't just turn around and say, well, that's the way we play. Because if that's what you're going to do all the time, then you better get ready for more results like this. Because when you play as badly as a defence as Barcelona did, I'm telling you, I don't care who they're playing next. They're stepping on the field thinking about what happened the last game. Now, if they're going to go far in the Champions League and going to play against other real good teams going forward, then they're not winning the Champions League.
No.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It was funny to begin with, because you're saying, well, he can't keep doing this. Eventually they're going to change. Well, they're not. And
It wasn't
unless
funny.
the middle of the park is at their best, closing the ball down, this is going to happen a lot more. And you can't hope to win the Champions League and La Liga. And
Now, just to, make everything understandable, it is going to be a long time between now and second leg. So hopefully we have guys back from injury, Rafinha, Pedri, but bro, this let me show you this, right? I need to get the magic circle out. Look, first off, this is the first 2 minutes of this game. Let's bring out the magic circle. The first 2 minutes of the game. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this goddamn guy. Now, even whether or not this is a goal, this is the first 2 minutes of the game. And already, I can tell you that there are some guys that are doing nonsense. If Koundé cannot already see the plan in the first 2 minutes and 43 seconds of this game, we're in trouble. Like, we are in trouble. If you can't see how this is the plan in just 2 minutes, this is, they're like, oh my God. All right, let's see. Now, Casado, let's go back. That's another person that I don't understand what that guy is doing in my team. This was not a goal, but this is important because these are the chances that tell you what the flow of the game is going to look like going forward. Look at this guy here, right? Eric Garcia. Watch that dummy, right? Look at this nonsense. You are going to press where men are already there, which is already a bad move. I don't know if you're trying to keep. I don't know. I don't even understand what was in his head there. There's already all these guys there, but my guy said no. I'm going forward now. How on earth do you let that happen when you know there's this much space behind you? How do you let that happen when you know there's this much space behind you? That's what we're talking about. That's the whole point. The whole idea of defending is understanding the balance between the space behind, putting your keeper in danger, and knowing when to press the ball. Why did this dumbass do this? Why? Just give me one reason why. Okay, we move on. That one was a miss. Give glory to God, right? That was Simeone. This was the first 2 minutes of this game, right? Now, this is minute 5 and 58 seconds. So 6 minutes. Look at what this guy decided to do. Pass the ball back and do this nonsense. Now, let's assume that one was even a mistake, right? Mistakes happen. Things happen. Like, we've all been in games where it doesn't go our way. But this should already, at 6 minutes, it's a cup game, you know that, okay, no, now, let's get serious. If we were too relaxed to start the game, because that's exactly what happened there, we were too relaxed. Look at the way that guy tried to trap the ball. Let's go back. Let's look at the way this guy tries to trap the ball. Like, too relaxed. Too relaxed. That's what happened there. You're just too relaxed. What in the world are you doing here? After they've already shown you something can happen, you see, like, there's so, do you know what pisses me off with things like this, man? There's so much going on. There's so many things that show you. There's so many signs of danger. This is not like this guy is somewhere here where you can still take an extra touch and But now, this guy decides that this is the time he wants to do his own skill. Too relaxed on the ball. Right? Now, we go. Concede the first goal. Just assume that one was a mistake, right? It happens. These things happen. Next thing you know, 13 minutes and 54 seconds. First goal was in 6 minutes. So 6 minutes later, 6 minutes later, this is what this guy decided to do for me. 6 minutes later, right? Now, when I tell you people that this guy is past his due date, you don't believe me. This Jules Koundé guy, I'm telling you for a fact now, this Koundé guy is done. Like, he is done. It is over with. The last option is to move him to centre back, or I was thinking the last option was to move him to centre back, but he was in a central position when this happened. What does my guy decide to do? Open leg. Now, if there's anybody in this team that I want going against Griezmann at this point, one-on-one, it should be Koundé, because Koundé knows him. They are international teammates. They've played together multiple times. So what happened there, Koundé? You know the kind of finish he likes. You know, like, come on. How can you let this happen, Koundé? How can a player of your caliber let this happen? How can he let this happen? How can we let this happen? Like, come on, bro. Like, Jules Koundé salary, for the love of Christ. For the love of Christ, this guy is making £5.4 million. And this is how we're going to win the Champions League, ladies and gentlemen. This is how they want us to win the Champions League. Right? Okay, Kolo, number 2. It's 2-0. Now it's 2-0. Okay, now it's serious. Let's even assume that, okay, the first couple minutes we didn't understand the ferocity, the ferocity and the velocity these guys were coming with. Okay, now it's serious. Now let's get serious. Let's make something happen. You will notice that in this 13 minutes, I haven't shown you a Barca highlight. The only person that had good highlights in this game were Fermin and Lamine. So, we keep going. We messed up there. This is 19 minutes and 21 seconds. That's when we decide to wake up in a cup tie against Atletico Madrid. It's not like, oh my God, these guys keep playing with fire. That's the most annoying part. They keep playing with fire. You have a generational coach. All you have to do right now is get him a generational defender. That's all you have to do. Get me Vitinha. Do something that will make shake body. Please shake body. Okay. Now, Fermin decides, to have a goal. And Fermin is, I personally think, currently, next to Rafinha, Fermin is our best finisher. I'm not talking about player, I say finisher, one-on-one, show me the net. You can't get better than Fermin Lopez. Now, that goes over, right? Now, bro, look at this space, for crying out loud, bro. Just look at this amount of space. What kind, like, what is going on in this team, bro? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, man. Oh! After 2 goals and a scare, this guy still decide to give these people this much space behind. Look at this space, for crying out loud. Look at options. That's even the most annoying part. Look at options. Now, if anything, right? I hope they've uploaded Lenny Euro versus Callum Wilson, Lenny Euro. Yeah, block versus Callum Wilson. Lenny Euro is like 19 or 20 years old, though. Just that's for context. Look at what this boy did. Right? Look, just take a look at this. Look at the amount of brain power he used here. Right? Just. This is a defender whose brain is working. This is when your defender actually knows what he's doing. This is a defender that defends like his life depends on it, right? You have this guy here, which he knows is going to come into play. But this is the guy with the ball right now, right? So let me pressure this guy. Let me just keep pressuring this guy. Right? Now, let's play the clip. Look at his body shape. Look at his body shape. Whatever this guy wants to do here, he's ready for it. That's that body shape. You're not crossing that ball. Because now he has put his body in a way where if you cross it behind me, I'm going to get it. If you cross it in front of me, I'm going to get it. Long legs, but the brain power is not just about physicality, strength, and space. Brain power. What's working in that brain? What is working inside that brain? Look at this. He keeps, now he's edging closer because he knows that this guy has to make up his mind at some point. He goes closer. You know why he decides to, at that point, go closer? Because he knows that the more you push that ball, the more your window closes. You understand what I'm saying? From here, this should have been a goal. He took one look behind to see, okay, where is this guy behind me? Look at that look. And now, look sure, if anything, you get it. But now, I'm also angling my body because I know something can happen. That's what you call defense, bro. And what does he do? Makes extra sure. Close him down. Because, look, the more you jockey, it's the Virgil thing. Like, we diss Virgil, but Virgil is a great defender. It just has to be said, bro. His positioning. It's positioning and denying of options. It's a chess game. But, my guys, Jules Koundé, who is how many years older than Leniero? Like, look, Jules, let me just tell you one thing, and I don't like to say this because I was actually a fan of you, man. These are the kind of plays that will make guys like Leniero collect your place in the national team. I'm just telling you, bro. I'm just telling you. These are the kind of mistakes that will make you lose your place. Look at this now. Obviously, that guy didn't send that ball that he was supposed to send. But some dummy also didn't realize that there was this run. So, in that other clip with Leniero, he was looking to measure, okay, what are the options and what can I do? Next thing you know, bang. They didn't score in that one, 22nd minute. That's another warning. That's another warning. Now, what I just showed you guys there was in the 22nd minute, right? This is in the 32nd minute. This is almost exactly 10 minutes after that last chance. Almost the same exact scenario. Almost the same exact scenario. The only difference is Lookman is actually timing his run. He's timing his run. And what happens? He knows that, okay, if I move too fast, God. It just hurts when I see people not playing ball with their brain. Bro, and then that was a great finish, to be fair. That was a great finish. But the point is, there's so much There's so many flaws, man. There's so many flaws. Look how much space this guy has to eat. Decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to cross it that way? Do you want to make sure your other guy eats? Like, what do you want to do? And because you tried the far cross the first time, you already know that, let me deceive these guys because they don't have brain cells. So what does he do? He deceives them, uses... Come on, bro. Schoolboy defending. Now, I will say though, this is one of the symptoms of the Hansi Flick system. When it rains, it pours. But the point is, if you have better personnel at that back, smarter personnel, it won't be this bad. It won't be this bad, bro. You know, Inigo Martinez was slower than all these guys, and he still held that line. He held the line. Okay, now it's 3-0. Guys, let's make sure at least it doesn't get nasty and we can't come back in the second leg. What do my boys decide to do? They tried one, it didn't work. Next thing you know, all those people saying Lamine didn't work yesterday. Lamine did nothing. Look at the bro. If I pull out Lamine's comp right now, but Fermin, you know, these guys they didn't finish their dinner, bro. It's almost like we're watching the same. Look, this is what I get. This if I had to guess, Simeone in training took these boys in and said, you know what, guys, we're doing the same thing. Just spam the same thing. We're going to go over this move 101 times. Because remember, in the first leg, that's exactly how it happened too. That's exactly how it happened. I mean, last season, Barca versus Atletico. 4-4, was it 4-4? No, there was one. Was it 4-2? Was it 4-2 and 1-0 in the return leg? Anyways, it was the exact same thing, exact same scenario, exact same chances, exact same mess up. Bruv, Ansi, you have to do something, man. I don't know. You have to do something, bro. This is, look at, God, bro. This is so bad, man. Dejected, just one punch. From that first goal, things were never the same. From that first goal, things were never the same. So, that's it. Second leg comes up soon. Hopefully we have Rafinha back. Hopefully we have Pedri back. It's a sad state of affairs right now, but, you know, it is what it is. Moving on, let's go to Chelsea. Just destroyed Hull City today, and, you know, there were some key things in that game, like, look at this poor finisher. Key things like Delap had a great miss, and that was a big chance by Estevao that he missed. I'm a big fan of Delap, but there's one or two things that he does that don't rhyme well with me, man. He's more of a battering, he's more of a bully than he. I like finesse strikers. Don't give me all that bully. Don't give me all that bully stuff. Don't give me all that bully stuff. Now, before I move, I need to talk about. Let me go to my videos. I need to see Elia Luko versus Simon Jordan. Now, I think it's an interesting one because we all know Simon is not is not one to mince his words. But for some weird reason, oh my God, before we talk about this, we have to talk about Eze's struggle at Arsenal. Eze's struggles at Arsenal. Oh Lord. Bro, this is what makes me even pissed at Arteta the more, because this is a situation how I know Arteta is not winning the league. See, I said about Maresca at the beginning of the season, you will lose your job. I mean, I'm not praying for the downfall because, I mean, the payout is what? Thomas Frank's payout was 20M. So it's not about wishing downfall on anybody. But this is what I know. As a manager, once you start showing certain signs, you can tell that this is the kind of person this guy is. Once you leave Sterling and the other guy out of the team before the season starts, you don't even give them a chance. Everybody's listening and learning and saying, okay, this is how this guy moves. Oh, okay. You think Palmer is not watching? You think all these other guys are not watching? Everyone is watching your moves. But these guys are moving crazy. Now, with Eze, after his hat-trick, you bench him. He hasn't started the game since December. Now you start him, take him off at halftime. What message are you trying to pass across? Because I said in my previous video, I said Eze's got in between two minds. Does he do what Arteta wants him to do, or does he do what they bought him for? Because what we saw at Crystal Palace is the guy who drives at defenders and tries to make things happen. Yes, he may lose the ball in crazy areas, but that's just the trend of the game. If Arteta was really an elite manager, it would be Eze, Odegaard, Rice, or Eze, Odegaard, Zubi. There's multiple ways to make it work. Multiple. This Pep, as much as you like, he's putting midfielders in full-back position. He makes it work. That's why he has 5 and 6. Now, let's listen to what the big boys have to say about Arteta. This is Peter Crouch and Arteta's relationship with
they've got games. They've got probably the best squad in the league, and I think with Mosquera's tackle there, right, Igor Thiago was through. That's a match-saving tackle. If they win the league by a point, we'd be looking at that and thinking, yeah, he hasn't played all the games, but he's earned them a point there, and this could be a point earned because it's a difficult place to come.
If you can't win it, then you can't lose it. It's one of those. And I think in the past, we may have seen Arsenal teams not getting what they needed. Mosquera's coming into the team last minute. Saliba sat at home. And I actually thought he played really well in this game tonight.
I did, yeah.
There was no ill effects from his performance. One or two others, maybe not quite at the normal level. Declan Rice, though, was quite magnificent. But others need to stand up. If you're going to be champions, obviously you've got to improve on that performance. But you come away with a point, and I think that you've rescued the evening.
Do you think Mikel Arteta is getting better as well at responding to these kind of moments, staying calmer?
He's getting more experienced in it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, every year you're in the job, I think you learn more without doubt. The criticism is he's got the best squad in the league. He's got a good group of players now. He's been in the job a long time. He's been unlucky with some top teams. Now, I don't think there's top teams in the league now. I think Manchester City aren't the Manchester City of old. Liverpool aren't. Manchester United aren't what they've been. Chelsea the same. I think there's a lack of quality in the top areas, and the bar's been set really high. Is a real opportunity for there to be more questions asked.
But with that in mind, should Arsenal be further ahead?
Just at the weekend, Odegaard, Saka weren't available. Suddenly they're back from the bench. There's another surgery for another player in the midfield. Marino got, but the players coming in have got to immediately pick it up. And in the case of Eze, didn't quite pick up, wasn't getting on the ball enough, wasn't pressing high enough. I thought the manager reacted really quickly to that situation, but they couldn't see it through.
What about Eze tonight? Because he came off at half-time. It's 16 games without a goal for him, Peter. It just doesn't feel like it's quite working out for him at Arsenal so far.
I believe he's not started in the last 9 or something like that, so he's got to start today. You think, right, go and impress. Unfortunately, just felt off the boil, couldn't get on the ball first half. I mean, it was difficult for Arsenal in general, but for him, I felt for him, couldn't get on the ball, and then he doesn't give you that, what Odegaard gives you in pressing, and he doesn't affect it when he hasn't got the ball. So it was a bit of a passenger, if I'm being perfectly honest. I totally understand, and we called it kind of half an hour in he was going to come off, because for some reason it feels at the moment he doesn't fancy him. For whatever reason, and that's going to damage his England chances.
I think it's more. I think to say he doesn't fancy him. I think it's more a case of the player doesn't quite understand the structure in the same way Odegaard does. So Odegaard knows exactly where to be when the opposition have the ball, and then.
This is the problem with legends. This is the problem with legends of the club, man. So with this understanding of the structure that Odegaard does, what have you guys won? That's my question. What have you done? What have you won? Odegaard is not a player that affects the game the way you people think. If I'm telling you for a fact, if Odegaard and Eze were in Pep's team, they will both start. This is a guy who starts KDB and Bernardo. Like, you need creative players. You just have to make it work. This guy talking about, bro, Odegaard. What has Odegaard won? What have you guys won with the style and the structure that Odegaard understands? Damn.
And then picking up those little spaces and the little passes and building play, something that Odegaard does well, and Eze hasn't quite picked that up yet. It'll come in time, I'm sure it will, and there'll be moments, and that's where now he has to respond. He has to respond. He can't be hurt by what happened. It was for the good of the team, and it's on to the next one. And don't spend too long poring over it and affecting your confidence. Confidence is really important now. And that's where the manager can empower these players by giving them the confidence to feel that belief. We talked about it with their manager tonight. Keep telling the players how good they are. Nothing's really gone wrong here for Arsenal tonight. Big drama.
Look, I mean, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan at all. I'm not a big fan. Eze is that guy.
Brentford are half decent, aren't they? But that was a blow.
Goalkeeper, Paul, and I ball brain as well.
Top Ali will be on later.
We're going to win the league, and I'll give you my song now.
Go on in. Is it clean?
Crumbling again, ole, ole. Crumbling again, ole, ole. Crumbling again, crumbling again, crumbling again, ole, ole.
Arsenal, getting the next 3 Premier League fixtures are as follows. Wolves away, should be fine. Spurs away, you'd think they should be fine, but it's a North London derby. Then Chelsea home. What do you make of that one?
I think they'll win all 3. I mean, Spurs have Spurs won only 2 home games.
Shocking, but it is a London derby. Do you know what I mean?
They're just too strong. I think last night I was talking to a couple of Spurs fans over there. They're already dreading the game. They're not going can't wait for the North London derby. They're all thinking, dreading it. Arsenal fans badgering us for about the next 6 months.
Well, but the problem is Tottenham, they should be looking forward to the London derby, especially at home. But they're thinking about, we've got to stay in the Premier. That's the difference. That takes preference now.
Well, West Ham, turning form, has brought 2 sackings for a start. So because they've started winning games, West Ham, all of a sudden Forest.
Man, this is crazy though. I will never fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You people will not convince me. There's no way you are going to convince me that Eze is not a good player. That's gaslighting. That is gaslighting. Now, let's move on to Eni Aluko. Eni Aluko. Another thing with the Eze thing is it's just sad when, you finally get the move of your dreams, and it's just not, it's just not working. But at the same time, you didn't expect everything to go. It was never going to just be a smooth run. Like, obviously, there was going to be times where it looks like it's not going well, and you have to fight it out. So, Izzy, my bro, I'm on your side. Don't worry. We're praying for you. These guys want to run you down, take you out of rhythm. He's out of rhythm. He doesn't even know how they press anymore. He does not understand the runs guys are making. He does not. Come on, bro. And I are going at him. The hell? This is why he won't be the guy to win the Premier League. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you now. Because crunch time now. This same Eze that you brought up 45 minutes, you now want to rely on him. Or is it Havertz? You go back to Havertz. We'll see. How many games to go? Now, Eniola Aluko versus Sam.
I mean, do you think that some of the criticism
that's a good one? Because me, personally, I think people are being too harsh. They are being too harsh. And I said on Twitter, people came at me on Twitter lambasting me, calling me names, going at me. But I'm like, bro, this Simon Jordan guy is a bully. Pure, because he knows she doesn't use the right words always. That's the problem. Her choice of words sometimes is extremely poor. But look at the underlying message
they participated in. Achievement. Well, do I remember years ago anchoring Celtic against Rangers for Scottish football, for Scottish television in the world of Scottish football, and Big Jack Charlton was my studio guest that day. Didn't play for either Celtic or Rangers, of course, Big Jack, but was a great.
I think 270 odd caps represents experience, right? on the pitch, represent how many times you've played in the Euros, how many times you've played at a World Cup, represents the insight that you're able to bring to the game that helps the audience go, right, okay, she scored in a whatever that experience might be. So what I wasn't saying was 270 caps justifies as an automatic pick. Of course, it goes without saying. You have to have the skill set as well, to...
Did you hear that? All you people come in and say, she's talking about DEI. Did you hear? She has 200 caps. She has the skill set.
Be a pundit, of course. So, and me and Farah have that skill set. We're both experienced pundits. The point I was trying to make is in women's football, my preference and my opinion is that where there's a choice, I want to see that level of experience on the main panel for women's football. That's not at the exclusion of, obviously I mentioned Nedum, obviously I mentioned Ian Wright. That's not at the exclusion of them. I'm saying, can we have a situation where the women are the main faces of women's sport and then the men play more of a supporting role? What does that look like? That might be Ian Wright doing pitch side hits 10 minutes before.
That will never happen. The problem is there's a lot of people coming to see the star power of Ian Wright. That's what I'm telling you. She does not articulate herself well. What she's trying to say, and I'm not trying to put words in the lady's mouth, but what she should be saying is market the ladies as well. So we can have the next Ian Wright or the first Ian Wright as a female. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of star power. But don't tell me that, don't take out, there's 2 spots for guys and no. Don't, you are going to lose that battle 10 times out of 10.
The game, it gives a bit of colour, a bit of context, goes to the main studio and bang, you've got the faces of the game, whoever the 3 female pundits are, right? That is a tried and tested proof of concept, really, in the men's game, right? So the premium opportunities in the men's game, when I think about men's finals, I've never done one because there's so many, big guys that I think should be ahead of me. But in the sort of exceptional cases, got someone like Karen Carney who's brilliant. Before the game, she'll do a final. She'll do a 10-minute hit before the game with Laura Woods, and it gives it a bit of colour, context. It's a supporting role. Goes to the main stage, studio, and then bang, you've got Roy Keane, Ian Wright, Gary Neville.
I see where you're going with it.
So I'm not saying it's at the expense of anyone. What I'm saying is, can we start to prioritise the sort of big positions for women and have sort of the men support that?
Well, you were part of ITV's punditry team for Euro 2020.
No,
I understand what you're saying, Eddie. I thought Eddie talked with no commercial sense, and that's my opinion. She probably disagrees. Quality.
Yeah,
as a pundit.
Because in my view, for what my view is worth, I listened to the observations. I've encountered any in short form and long form. We've had a conversation about something to do with the commerciality of football, which I thought any talked with no commercial sense. And that's my opinion.
Whoa.
She probably disagrees. I've seen her in long form, in podcasts, talking about various things, specifically with Andrew Gold.
That's the problem. That is the problem. Anyway.
She probably disagrees. I've seen her in long form,
Why are you shining teeth when this guy is dissing you? See, sometimes there's different kinds of people, right? There's people that know how to articulate their point and give it in long form, but there's people who are debatable. Debating is different from being able to just articulate your point and just give it. Debating is cutting somebody off when you hear something you disagree with or when they mischaracterize what you are, not shining teeth.
Podcasts talking about various things, specifically with Andrew Gold, where she's ideologically aligned with a perspective that over-representation is based upon merit and under-representation is based upon structural racism, and I find that a difficult circle to square.
That guy's finger. Did we see that? Like, can we just pocket watch for 2 seconds? Let's just pocket watch, Brody.
Through women. Specifically women's football. I also think the same applies in men's sports. I think that the women's expertise, I think there's nothing wrong with women hosts. It depends what you look for from a pundit. Depends if, I think we live in a society now where there's far too many people that don't have experience, don't have the substance, don't have the gravitas, don't know what they're talking about, masquerading as experts.
Bro, that ring on his hand must be worth like what? Jesus.
And with due respect to women's involvement in men's football, I think they have zero expertise in men's football. I think they can talk about tactics, but the 2 games are vastly different. The speed, the scale, the size, the pressure, the expectation, the physicality, they are vastly different games.
But you were quite outspoken about Eni yesterday.
In conjunction
and you were questioning Eni's quality as a pundit.
Because in my view, for what my view is worth, I listened to the observations. I've encountered Eni in short form and long form. We've had a conversation about something to do with the commerciality of football, which I thought Eni talked with no commercial sense, and that's my opinion. She probably disagrees. I've seen her in football, which I thought Eni in, because in my view, for what my view is worth,
You know, I listened to the observations. I've encountered any in short form, in long form. We had a conversation about something to do with the commerciality of football, which I thought any talked with no
Look at that finger, bro.
commercial sense. And that's my opinion. She probably disagrees.
Right.
I've seen her in long form, in podcasts, talking about various things, specifically with Andrew Gold, where she's ideologically aligned with a perspective that overrepresentation is based upon merit and underrepresentation is based upon structural racism, and I find that a difficult circle to...
Whoa. Don't speed.
Overrepresentation is based upon merit and underrepresentation is based upon structural racism, and I find that a difficult circle.
Of course, you find it a difficult circle to square because you're a benefit of the overrepresentation. What are you talking about?
Square. As far as expertise is concerned, when I listen to her as a pundit and the times that I've listened to her, I don't think that she's particularly enlightening or illuminating or engaging or charismatic or sometimes comes across particularly likable. But that's my view.
What in the world?
And some people have the same view about me. And my view of punditry is when I listen to a pundit, whoever that pundit might be, whatever they may be, whether it's male, female, black, white, yellow, green, it's do I learn something from them? Do they engage me? Do I find them interesting and entertaining? And do they merit my attention? And that's my response to the reasons why I was saying.
For context, let's just keep it cool. For context, this is Simon Jordan. This same guy that you just saw lambasting versus Deontay. Look at this guy.
The O2, you better be there.
Fabulous.
You'll be come in and try to give.
Whatever reason, we just saw the bronze bomber.
No, I don't. What?
No,
I don't about that.
I'm not a few.
I don't about it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Immediately.
Why is it so hard? Y'all act, man, man, let me I'm gonna get up out this bitch.
This is a little taster of what we're gonna get.
When he first
And I know you get quite cross, both of you, about the arm tap.
Fury. It was like, no,
I think those people call out.
I'm gonna get up out this bitch.
This is a little taster of what we're gonna get. Both of you guys are big characters.
But I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
Look at this.
I mean, and it's the truth. I risk my life for you's entertainment to see.
No, absolutely.
So why I ain't never lied about none in this business. You can believe why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man? Understand me? Why is it so hard to believe a black man than a white man?
Why you don't believe?
Why is it?
Let me answer the question.
Yeah, go on.
So we can go there.
First and foremost, it's got nothing to do with colour.
No, it does. This whole country got some. This whole world got something to do with race. You think you pan out? You think you have a? You think you had a great life? You think your life has been like mine?
Listen,
come on, you got white privilege, brother.
Can't answer that though.
I ain't never had that. I'm a black man with dark skin. Ain't nothing ever been given to me.
So the bronze bomber, there he is. Yeah, so I got it.
You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You don't get it.
Okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what little insight of what we go through as black people, man.
I got it.
You don't get it.
Well, okay.
None of y'all get it.
Where do you want me to go?
Y'all don't get it. And that's the problem. You think you get what you don't understand.
Okay.
Why is it so hard? Y'all act, man, let me I'm gonna get up out this bitch. Wild as that.
Good question.
Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the document...
No. See, interestingly, nobody ever replies to this part.
Cheated. Tell him to sue me so I can show the facts early. Because when the documentary and everything the story come out, I'm going to show everything.
Fantastic.
I'm going to get all the people that know and all the people that's in the inside. He got people that the inside of him. That know. I don't, what? I don't about that.
I'm not a Fury fan.
About it. I said we didn't want to bring him up in the first place. It ain't got shit.
Tell him to sue me. I'm not a Fury fan. You think I'm a Fury fan? All the guy said was tell him to sue me.
Shit to do with him.
Fair enough.
The you talking about?
Yeah, man.
Now this same guy is the one doing this.
Yeah, listen,
He's sitting right beside you.
Yeah, you know, it's an opinion, isn't it? Which we're all entitled to. I put value on opinions. right? You have to, because there's everybody has them, right? So I'm not going to listen to a mob on X who've never ever put themselves in any situation to do anything close to what I've done in my career. I listen to the professionals, right? I listen to the people who've hired me for the last 11 years around the world, the biggest broadcasters in the world. By default, if I'm working with the people who are considered the brilliant broadcasters, then if I'm in the same team as them, next to them, then by default, I'm considered also a brilliant broadcaster. Sure. So I take everything you're saying, but the reality is I've been good enough for 11 years, right? And as I said, I'm the person that will go and seek out feedback for someone to go, I think you're struggling. It's never happened.
See, the language that you use, Annie, is, to me, it's steeped in a sense of entitlement. I mean, the sheer weight of the entitlement.
I mean, she's talking about, all she said was, for 11 years, I've been among the big broadcasters. That means I'm a big broadcaster, or I'm a brilliant broadcaster. I'm going to seek feedback. I have the experience. I have 200 caps. What do you mean entitlement?
That you seem to believe that you have would resink the Titanic. I think you've been quite fortuitous. I think because of initiatives like DEI, they've allowed people to be put into positions in the men's game that I don't think they've merited, and now that sort of seeds an attitude that you become a stalwart in the women's game. And I listened to your observations about Ian, and Ian Wright is in the Ian Wright business, has always been. I've known Ian for 25 years, and I have my own views on him. Ian is not in any shape or form obligated to provide any support structure for you or to give you a sense of entitlement. And your position now as a broadcaster...
Yes, he's not. But honestly, it would have cost Ian nothing to say, you know what, apology accepted, let's move on. But the fact that someone who is that big of a national treasure says, no, I don't need your apology, don't talk about me, don't do anything. Obviously, come on, they're putting the crosshairs.
Will be determined by the value of you. And the fact that people potentially aren't booking you now should give you pause to thought about why they might not be.
Hold on. The reason people aren't booking me is because I've taken myself out the firing line. My last conversation with ITV was, I'm taking a break from broadcasting.
So you weren't disappointed then? Because that's what you just said a minute ago, you were disappointed.
Disappointed about what?
You just said that the conversation with ITV, you left that conversation and you were disappointed. So I'm assuming that the conversation about you not being a mainstay broadcaster with them was in part put forward to them, by them.
So there's two conversations with ITV. So there's a conversation after the men's Euros, which was the end of my contract. I asked about, are we going to renew as is normal? And they said, no, we're sort of cutting budgets and we're prioritising Ian Wright and Karen Carney.
Mm-hmm.
That was a conversation back in the summer of 2024. I was off screen for 9 months. We agreed that I would then do the Euros. That was after the comments about Ian Wright. We had a conversation. And at that point, I'd already decided I'm taking a break from this environment. This is no longer something that I think is serving.
So what's all this about then?
But along the way, though, and it's fair to say you pointed your guns at Ian Wright, didn't you?
Well, I think that's...
Because, and I will just quote something in here. I fully expected Ian to use his influence to keep me in the game. I've seen him do...
Still wanted a job. Look, guys, the whole big problem is this. She went at Ian Wright, which was the worst thing she could have done. Because for some reason, people don't like her. And I think, personally, it's because the attraction. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that just plays into it. This is the world we live in. It's not fair, but that's just how it is. But she should never have gone at Ian. And now she can't sleep. She can't stay in the UK. She can't do nothing. We can't even defend her. It's crazy. But guys, this is ballknowledge. Thanks for sticking with your boy. See you in the next one. I think we'll do, I believe the Tuesday is the next round of games. So I should be able to get something after Tuesday. Let me see here. Let's see. I know Madrid play on the weekend, but F Madrid for real. Sunday, no. Okay, Monday, 16th Feb. Barcelona, Girona, and then, Barcelona, Girona. So I'll be back Monday, give you guys a video, let you guys know my thoughts on Barca, Girona. The Champions League, the Champions League is back on Tuesday. Knockout stage. Galatasaray, Juventus, AS Monaco, PSG, Benfica, Real Madrid, and Borussia Dortmund, Atalanta. These should be good, especially because PSG just lost to Rennes in France. So, can Monaco repeat what Rennes just did? I hope they can, because that'll be one less guy in the Champions League. Then on Wednesday, we have Wolves, Arsenal. That should be an easy win for Arsenal. Karabag, Newcastle, Bodo Glimt, Inter, Club Brugge, Atletico, Olympiacos, Bayern, Leverkusen. Okay, so nice random midweek games. I'll let you guys know my thoughts. This is Ball Knowledge. Tell your friend to tell your friend. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know what it is? We have to find a more consistent time to just, have a community of ball knowledge. You know what I mean? On YouTube, it's Ball Knowledge. You guys can follow me. Let me know your thoughts. I'm also on Twitter, it's Ball Knowledge. I'm also on Twitter at Dragon Lord, which is at zozomilli, which is Dragon Lord. But hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Arsenal. Let's even do it this way. Arsenal fans, let me know. Do you guys think you can still do it? Do you think it's possible? Do you believe, or do you think? Because I've been hearing some people say we might bottle it. So what do you guys think? Do you think you can still do it? And then, of course, Man City fans, what do you think? Do you think this will be the first time Pep loses 2 league titles in a row? Most importantly, Barcelona fans, we're in the mud right now, but are we really in the mud? Is there anything we can do? What can we do? Is this the time to actually just pray for Hansi Flick? Lift him to the Lord in prayers. It's crazy. It's so many things to talk about, so many things to think about. Anyways, it's Ball Knowledge. I will see you guys in the next